Hey y'all, it's your girl Cecilia. Welcome back to my channel. So, hello. Let me preface this video with a moment. Picture it, my bedroom, 2019. I'm sitting in my chair. I am back from my vacation. I don't want to clean my room. I don't want to unpack. So I decide to look at my bookshelves and unhaul a bunch of books. I'm gonna call this the existential dread book unhaul because that's what this is, because I just was sad. I was sad that my vacation was over. I was sad I was not in California anymore. I was sad that I was in Texas. That's a whole nother can of worms to open. But yeah, I was just, your girl was sad. So I decided to unhaul some books, and I'm about to go sell a bunch of them off. Some I'm not selling, some I am selling. So yeah, 23 books here, which is quite a bit. So let's get into this and actually show you what I'm getting. Now, I'm going to go through the books that I'm not selling because they're either in slightly worse condition, or I just know that half-price books will not give me money for them and they'll just donate them anyways. But I like to know where my books go, so they'll either go to free little libraries, or there is this thrift store that is close to my house. It's like a church-run thrift store kind of thing, except you don't pay for anything. Everything is free, and it's available to low-income families and people who are homeless. So I always like to give whatever I can to that place. They accept pretty much everything except like large furniture, and that's totally cool with me. So the first one I'm getting because I accidentally bought this one, and I bought a nicer edition of this one, and that is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hopkins. I have not read this book yet, and I kind of forgot that I owned this one, and then I bought one that is just nicer than this ratty book, so I decided to get this. I believe this is like a domestic thriller. I'm just curious about it. I don't know. Well, she's going away. Okay, I'm back. My battery died. That was the thing. Switch batteries. So let's get into this. So the next book I wanted to talk about was a manga, and that is You're in My Secret by I Morgana. I read this book and I thought it was alright. It's not a phenomenal manga volume. It's about basically these two, and they switch bodies, and they kind of are stereotypically not themselves. I'm trying to explain this. So the boy acts more feminine and the girl acts more masculine, and they kind of, once they switch bodies, everything kind of makes sense, and they fall in love with their best friends. It's weird. It's weird. It was alright. I kind of liked the plot line of them falling in love with their best friends, but I just didn't see the point in hunting down the rest of the volumes because this is an older series. I think it might be out of print, so I just didn't see the point. Third one I'm unhauling is Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison, simply because this one I got at the thrift store. It is battered. There are stains on a lot of the pages, and it's hard to read, so I just want to get a nicer edition of this so I can actually read it. Alright, next one I am unhauling is The Billionaire's Vinegar by Benjamin Wallace. I'm just not interested in this. I think it's literally just a nonfiction about this expensive ass bottle of vinegar that no one cares. I'm sorry, no one gives a shit about like $1 million bottle of vinegar. I'm sorry, it's still gonna taste like shit no matter how expensive it is. I'm sorry. And the last ones of the ones that are getting sold that are not getting sold is J by Howard Jacobson. This is, I think, a dystopian. It says it's compared with George Orwell's 1984 and Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. And I don't know, I look at this and I am not interested in reading this. Like, that's freaking all. The only reason I don't think it'll be sold is because there are a lot of scratches and scuff marks, and it's just not in great condition, so I'm not interested in this. So, let us get into the books I am actually going to be selling. First one I have here is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I'm gonna unhauling this because, first of all, this is a thick ass book. Sometimes I'm intimidated by thick books, but I don't like thick books that feel like they're going to be unnecessarily thick, and this feels like one of those books. I just don't like World War II stories. I feel like I not have heard every perspective, but it gets to the point where everything just seems very repetitive, and I know a lot of the details of World War II, so it's not interesting to learn about anymore. And so I'm just kind of tired and bored of it, and this is a World War II story, so, you know, goodbye. Next one I am unhauling is Closer to Home by Mercedes Lackey. This is simply just because I'm just not interested in this anymore. I look at it and it doesn't spark joy. Don't really remember what it's about, and yeah, that's it. This one might be controversial, but I'm gonna be unhauling What If It's Us by Becky Apatali and Adam Silvera. I got 30 pages into this book and I already despised who was the main character first perspective about. I want to say it was Arthur? Yes, first perspective is about Arthur. I don't know who wrote Arthur's perspective, but god damn it, I did not like it. It felt very childish. And I had to take off, you know, my adult glasses to look, and I'm only 21, but still, my adult glasses, and be like, okay, when I was 16, did this sound stupid? Yes, it did. These characters did not feel like teenagers to me. They felt like adults trying to be teenagers, and it was so cringy. In just those 30 pages, I could not take an entire book of it. Alrighty, next book I am unhauling is Bonita Avenue by Peter Buwalda. This is really like a really pretty cover and ending pages. I'm just not interested. It's another thick ass book, and I just don't care. I don't even know what this is about. It just doesn't interest me at all. So yeah, this is for an birthday haul that's coming soon, so get ready for that. Next one is a graphic novel, and so I'll be unhauling Bitch Planet Volume 1 by Deconic Delandro. I started reading this, and first things first, I'm not a fan of the art style, and I feel like that's a big hit or miss when it comes to graphic works. Like, I'm just not a fan. It was really hard for me to get into it. I like this spread, but overall, just wasn't my thing. And I was already confused about, I think I made it about halfway. I was confused about halfway through this, and graphic novels, I don't like to be confused. I read graphic novels and manga just to escape, and they are my escapist in between like my books. I'm okay to be confused a little bit in my novels, because I'm like, all right, this is better. But when I read my graphic novels and manga, I'm like, ooh, pictures, and I just want to have a fun time. And I was not having a fun time, so I DNF this, and I'm getting rid of this. Just not into it. Next one I'm getting rid of. I'm so excited I'm getting rid of this, and that is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I'm going to link somewhere this was our Page Dwellers book club first book that we read for our book club, and we all didn't like it. We were not fans. Wow, okay, my camera died again. I'm having bad luck. I'm going to be unhauling The Ultimate Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. So the only reason is, of course, you guys know I love the first book in the series, and I started reading the second book in the series, but the only reason I'm getting rid of this is because this is such a pain to read. It's like has nice big lettering, but I hate sitting and reading this. It is just the most uncomfortable book to read. Unless I have it flat out on a table like this, it's almost impossible. And I don't want to feel that when I'm reading. This feels intimidating to go through this. I know this is 5 books, but it still just feels intimidating. I'd rather own all of the books individually than have this big omnibus. So that's the only reason I'm not DNFing the series. I love the series, just don't want this version. This one might be controversial, and I'm sorry because my mom got me this for Christmas, but I don't like this. It's Peter Pan by Jm Barrie. I DNF'd this about halfway through. I have a problem with DNFing things halfway through, but I think my issue with this is I was not a fan of the writing style. It just really took me away from the story, and I was not a fan of, I don't know, it just wasn't fun for me. I feel like if I was a kid, I would have enjoyed this, but just me reading it as an adult, I noticed certain things where I was like, whoa, okay, that's not cool, bro, like, what? It was a lot of that. It was a lot of, I can only take my adult glasses off for so long, man. I can't see. I'm blind as hell. So it was just, a lot of things were just the whimsy. It just went over me. It was just not an enjoyable experience for me. So, yeah, that's it. All right. Next one I'm talking about is Against the Country by Mcleod. I don't know what the fuck this is about. This was also, I have quite a couple books from my, I bought a mystery cart for $9 video, and most of them are shit. But yeah, I'm no. Just no. Alright, now this is going to be 2 manga volumes. I'm unhauling Me and My Brothers Volume 1 and 2. Basically, I DNF'd this first volume. No, or did I read it? I don't remember. I think I DNF'd it, and then just never wanted to continue on with the second volume. My battery died again. I don't even know what I was talking about. I don't even remember where I was. But, yeah, main character, she has basically 4 stepbrothers, and she goes to live with them, and it just... I wasn't interested. I got really bored. Art style also isn't my favorite. If you see, it's, again, just art style is just really hitting me today. I was just not impressed, and I thought it was kind of mediocre. Very run-of-the-mill, typical slice of life. Wasn't into it. Next one I'm going to be unhauling is The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. I've just kind of learned that I like Anne Rice's book in audiobook format rather than physically, because sometimes it can read very Shakespeare, and I'm not into that physically. Audiobook, fucking love it. So that's the only reason why I'm unrolling this copy, is because I want to listen to an audiobook. So I think that'll be a nicer experience for me. Next one I'm reading, I am unhauling, is my most recent DNF, and this is going to be a topic. It's 3 Dark Crowns by Kundera Blake. My issue with this book wasn't the writing style. I think I thought the writing style was alright. It wasn't my favorite. My issue was that I just wasn't hooked. I think I DNF'd about 100 pages in, and I could not distinguish the places, the 3 queens' names, like, apart. If you asked me which one is the poisoner, I wouldn't freaking tell you. I was like, is it Ellison? I don't fucking know. It was so hard for me to keep up, and I don't know why, because his book was slow, so I'm kind of like, how... Alright, well, we're getting into the controversial ones, I guess. Next one I'm unhauling is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I've read 2... Okay, I've read 1 book, DNF'd another. I read This Savage Song, and I DNF'd Our Dark Duet from her. And I am not a huge fan of Victoria Schwab's writing style. It's not my favorite. I don't really like it. And I don't like the way she writes characters. They feel very CW to me. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I don't know why. At least in that series. And I know it's probably going to be different. But I just started reading this book, and that's all I could think about was how much I was not a huge fan of The Savage Song. So I just don't want to read the series. I just don't care anymore. So she's going. Next one was gonna be controversial, but I asked people on Twitter, and people agreed with me on this one. And I'm going to be unhauling Strange a Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Why I'm doing this is because I've realized something about myself. I am a plot-driven reader. I don't know. I like when shit goes down, and this book is not a book where shit goes down. I also learned that I really don't like flowery writing. Unpopular opinion, I guess. I think flowery writing is bad writing. And I know that Laini Taylor is known for her flowery writing. This is not going to be a book for me. I just know it. I know I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate read it, and I don't want to do that to myself or to anybody else. Next one I am unhauling is Foundling by DM Cornish. First of all, this ugly ass cover. Guess whose camera died? Again. What I was talking about is that this ugly ass cover. Do you see this? Do you see this? Ew. Also, I don't know. I just don't remember a lot about it. And also, this book has, let me show you, this much in Exiting footnotes. So this is the story. This is footnotes. Basically footnotes. This is like a glossary and appendix. Why the fuck is the glossary and the appendix over 20% of the pages in this book? I don't know. I'm irritated and I don't want to deal with it. Next one I have is A God in Ruins. I don't know why I said it like that. By Kate Atkinson. I'm just not interested in this book. I read the synopsis again and I was like, ooh, yeah, no, don't care. So, what do you do? Don't care. That is it for today, guys. I will see you in a different video. I hope you guys liked this unhaul. And yeah, that's it. Bye, y'all.